Hi, I'm Greg with Fizzics, here with Paul, the co-founder and brewmaster at Noon Whistle Brewing Company in Lombard, Illinois. Paul, thanks for having us here.
Cheers. Thanks for coming out.
So what are we drinking here?
Today we're drinking one of our sours. This is Face Smack, which is a Berliner Weiss, but it also has passion fruit added to it.
It's delicious.
Thank you. Thanks.
Tell us how you got into brewing.
So I've been in the beer industry for a long time. I started on the distributor side, and I was homebrewing for 12 years or so before I got into it. And then I went to Siebel Institute, where I was able to get a little bit more education on the brewing side of it. And we were able to open up Noon Whistle Brewing about a little under 2 years ago.
Cool. Congratulations.
Thanks. Thank you.
Could you give us a little bit of history or how you got the idea for the company?
Sure. So when I was working at the distributor, there was a lot of need for lower alcohol beers on the craft side of it. So that's the whole Noon Whistle thing, where there's nothing wrong with having a beer at noon when the whistle goes off, and having a lower alcohol beer that fits, all different styles, or a beer that you can kind of drink all day long as well. So we had this, idea of, hey, it was 7, 8, 9% and great beers. And we brew a few of those as well ourselves here, but we were missing a few of those lower alcohol beers. So me and a couple friends that we've been friends since 4th, 5th grade, something like that. We decided to put a business plan together. We drove off to Michigan because there weren't too many breweries here in Illinois yet, and started our business plan. And it took us 3 years roughly to get off the ground before we were able to open up Noon Whistle.
Wow, good work. What would you say is Noon Whistle's approach to craft beer?
So like I said, we kind of concentrate on session beers. We think that is our niche. We also do a lot of sour beers as well. That's another very popular growing style that we see. So we're going to come out with a Smack series where it's a sour series that comes out in cans. So we're pretty excited. That'll be released in the next month or so. So October, we'll start releasing that. So
nice.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun.
Cool. Can you tell us about any other upcoming projects you're working on here?
Yeah, so we're trying to grow our barrel aging. We're working on a lot of different ends of that. Once again, the sour aspect of it. We've been pumping in as many barrels as we possibly can. Our space is starting to get limited because now we have a canning line and everything. But we're trying to ramp that up as much as possible and release as many sours as we possibly can out into the market. Different fruited sours or different styles. We just recently released a style. It was a little bit different, but it's Berliner Weiss. So it's Face Smack, but we aged it in bourbon barrels. So we were able to release that, and a lot of people are loving that right now. So
cool. If you could have only 3 beer styles on tap for the rest of your life, what would they be?
Ooh. I would have a hoppy beer, my sessionable 4 or 5% pale ale. We have Cosmo, our pale ale, which would be awesome beer to have, as a go-to beer drinker. And then the way I drink sours is I love to have a sour every 2 or 3 beers because it cleans up my palate, lets me able to keep drinking for a little bit longer. And then also I would want to have probably a big beer in there as well, but probably more of a barley wine than a stout. That's just me.
Yeah, mine's something similar to that. Yeah. What's the major difference you notice between dispensing a beer through the Fizzics draft beer system versus a hand pour from a can or bottle?
Sure. So since we do a lot of sours and stuff, I always have a hard time, looking at people and the head on the beer just goes down really fast on sour beers.
Acidity and the lower pH.
The lower pH, the acidity, but you could tell, look at this. This is awesome. This is, it's keeping the head. That never happens while I'm sitting here watching customers drink beer, and I love that. That is awesome. And it gives that perception, it gives a little bit smoother flavor to the sour, and also the aroma too, I think, comes out a little bit more as well. So
yeah, getting the good word out there about foam and how important it is.
It's very important, very important.
One last question for you. If you could have a beer with anyone living or dead, who would it be?
Whew. Anybody living or dead? I would love to have a beer with Michael Jordan.
Nice.
Just because, grew up in Chicago, I'd love to sit down and pick his brain and talk to him about his experiences in life and talk to him about what he's done. He's opened up a few restaurants and stuff too, so he's seen this end of it as well. So
That'd be a good conversation, definitely.
yeah.
Well, hey, thanks again for having us, man. It's great.
Cheers.
talking to you. Cheers.